Recording stating. Hello, everybody. It's been a while since we've done it, but I think there's no time like the present. Today, I wanted to interview one of my buddies, my business partners, integrator, a little bit of everything, Mr. Anthony Garrison, who I met a little bit over a year now, and really seeing that we had a lot of similar goals. And so now, a little bit over a year now, kind of being able to share where he came from, what he's doing before, what's he doing in real estate, how we're working together, and how he can help you out as well, similar to how he's helping me out here currently. So, with no further ado, thank you again, Anthony, for giving me this time, and please feel free to kind of have those that 15 minutes of fame. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you've been doing before real estate, and we'll go from there.
Gotcha. Appreciate you, George, for having me, man. Just from the beginning when we met, I don't know, something about George just it's like a spark. I'm sure most people that know him that are friends with him kind of feel the same thing. But I met him on JJ's podcast, if you're familiar with JJ. But once I saw him, it's just something I don't know. I was like, I got to get to know this guy. Like something about him. Like he's just a good guy, man. I just want to work with him. And that was around the time where I was chasing people, for relationships.
Gotcha.
But yeah, man, I've been in entrepreneurship since 2018, 2019. Um, my background was in teaching. I've been in education ever since coming out of college. Before that, and I remember one year, actually that year, 2019, going back to school, I was like looking at like kind of some of the older, teachers that been there, like the veterans, and they would kind of just walk around comfortable. Everybody comes back with a feel, after the summer, and I
Right.
just felt so disconnected. And it's like I don't want to be 50, 60, years old going into retirement, and
Wow.
this is what I'm looking at, like so it's like yeah, I got to figure something out. I didn't know what, I didn't know where, but I had to figure
Mhm.
something out, man. But that's kind of when it all started, as far as looking outside of, you know, what I was doing as far as education and trying to jump into the entrepreneur space.
Okay. And I'm just curious, Anthony, how many years have you been teaching so far?
Ooh, good question. I should know that. I think it's been about 12 years, actually, a little bit over a decade.
Wow.
So yeah, I've been teaching. I taught high school. I was 23, I think I was, and I was teaching
Mhm.
juniors that were like 17, 18, so not too much
Wow.
older. Yeah, and I had the head basketball coach and job my first time, so that was a
Uh-huh.
pretty cool experience being young. But yeah, I started teaching early.
Okay. And so right now, currently, what grade, age group, or grade level are you teaching now?
I'm in the elementary level, so I teach anywhere from pre-K to fifth grade, and now I only do education. I've been doing math for pretty much the first 9, 10 years, maybe like the first 9 years. I did math, algebra, high school math, all the way to middle school. But now I have
Okay.
elementary PE, so we just have fun, man. And I
Okay.
kick back and enjoy the kids. That's been pretty cool.
Gotcha. Okay. And well, that's something I just learned about you right now, even though like I've known you over a year or so, Anthony. So I appreciate you sharing that. And
Sure.
so I love that part where you said you don't want to do this for X amount of years. And I remember sharing that with my journey when I was at the post office for a good amount of years, to where yeah, it's a good job at everything, but having that similar feeling like, man, I found this older gentleman and he was knocked out between some lockers, and obviously he's probably earning a pretty good amount, but can I really do that for 60, 70 years, wait on a pension, wait on this?
Yeah.
Nah, I think I'm meant for something better. And so being able to share that with you, and so I guess that goes to show another thing that we have in common, which
Yeah.
kind of built to where we're at now. And so I guess where would you say a little bit, like I say, even though we met, thankful we met each other through JJ's a networking event or his podcast. Where were you at right before we connected, and what did you think at that moment to where we're at now?
Yes. Yeah. So when I met you at that point, I was already kind of doing, well, not kind. I was definitely doing some real estate. I was already wholesaling. I'd already crossed into like the Gator community because I have a finance background. So like, hey, now that I know this part, I can learn this, finance part. So getting in the Gator, quickly realized I bit off way more than I could chew. I need to slow down because again, we were still doing my W-2 and trying to wholesale. And that's when the epiphany came. It's like, okay, if I want to scale and grow, it's not doing more things. I have to meet the right people. I need to be around the right people. I need to, network. And I'm really a hermit, bro. Like It takes a lot. Like even my friends have to get my wife to trick me. Like, hey, we're going here. Like, not trick me,
Right,
but kind of surprise me. But yeah, I'm a hermit. I'm that's just my nature, and I'm working. I'm working on it. But
right.
just getting out and trying to fight against that and grow myself. And that's what I ran into JJ's group. Got in JJ's group. Amazing guy. I'm sure a lot of people know JJ that are friends with you. But after that, you were on hosted, I think, on one of his shows, and you had like a segment, and I happened to
Right.
tune in. And I don't know, like I said, there's some just radiate that smile, just like JJ says, bro. But it was just something that just kind of like, this is a good guy, so I want to reach out to you. JJ did a great job of connecting us as well. And then once we talked and was kind of one on one, it just really sank in. Like I don't know, it was more of I don't know, man. It was like I don't want to say like a bromance, but it was like I like this guy. Like he's about the right stuff. He's about the right things, and I don't know what, but I want to help you, and I want to work.
Got it.
And yeah, we've went through a couple of things, and again built, grown, tried a couple of things, but I'm happy to say now it's looking good, bro. I'm seeing a lot of positive things from both of us on both of our sides, and it's been a pleasure working with you, bro. Not just working, but just being a friend and hanging out,
Right.
each other, and stuff like that.
It almost goes into like a nice, I forget what the phrase, like a segue, or when you're name dropping, kind of giving JJ his flowers, because it is really chasing the relationship before chasing a deal, because it did take a while for us to, even at this point, what a deal looked like or what success looked like. And so it took a while for us to kind of learn that ourselves, and growing with each other, if I can say that. And so I would in that sense, Anthony, and the next question I would like to ask is, what challenges did you see in my business when we first met? Well, when we first started working together.
Good question. Um, I think it wasn't really challenges. I think it's kind of similar to a lot of people that I worked with previously, and it was just like it was. I don't want to say a lack of organization, but it was a little scattered. It was a little bit like as far as separating the segments of a wholesale
Right.
business. As far as like cold calling with your lead managing, everything kind of being jumbled together. It was also like a very task heavy. You would have a lot of tasks and things that you were going through, but it was a lot harder to keep up with. So it wasn't really that anything was wrong. It was really about just untangling wires and kind of putting things in place so that we can kind of see each sector and be able to measure them accordingly to find what success is.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Well, appreciate that. And like I said, I know it's been throughout the process. Like I said, and to your point, it was being able to jump on those calls and kind of learning what is like I said, kind of being scattered and knowing like what is my true vision
Mhm.
and where do I want to go. And I didn't know that, and I'm still working on it now. But I know, thanks to you and a couple of individuals that we have in common, it is having a clearer vision what that looks like,
Mhm.
and knowing that if you're gonna sit in my car to get to that location, I know what role you're playing.
Yeah.
Similar to what you mentioned earlier, where not when you were, but when you were in different teaching roles or coaching basketball, we use that analogy a lot to where
Mhm.
it's teamwork. It's teamwork. It's getting the coaches running up the right plays, and also being able to adjust with each and every game, and being able to go back and watching film
Yeah.
and seeing where we can get better at.
Yes. 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 That's the obsession. That's the nerd. The Mamba mentality. The if
You're
there's a way, find that way. Like, nah, that's where that comes from,
right. Okay. And if I can be candid, Anthony, before I got into real estate, or before I kind of got into the mindset and identity, which is something I enjoy talking about, I could say before real estate, I looked at Kobe in a different I guess perception. I like,
bro.
oh, this mofo is cocky. He wants everything else. But now I see it. In order, first you have to know yourself, and you have to have that driver where you want to go to. But I believe you mentioned it earlier, and what we're learning, we can't get there by ourselves. So
Yes.
what am I really good at, and what can I offload, or how do I delegate those things and become that true leader, to where I can get with someone like you, and knowing what I know now, being real clear on my vision back then, but also enjoying the process that we've gotten so far together.
There you go, man. I think that's the beauty of it. Like every operator or CEO kind of like success doesn't look one way. Everybody's good at different things. Like even like a Kobe versus a LeBron versus an Allen Iverson versus a Shaq. And I've used basketball analogies a lot, but they're
Right.
all great, but they're great in their own ways. So it's best for you to have a team that supplements what you're already good at. That way you can just show up and do the thing that you do.
Yes, it's almost like to your point, every in basketball, just like the Knicks just won here recently. Every NBA team, their goal is to get to the championship, and so every year when they don't get there, it's being able to utilize that track record or that I guess the data
Yep.
to kind of see what are the good things, what are the bad things, and what can we improve on, and let's set a new goal because now the next step is, what do we got to do to get there?
Yes. Chunk
Hmm.
ahead. Chunk ahead. Love it.
Gotcha. And so thanks to you, Anthony, and with helping out with your own brand and what you're finally seeing what your I would say your value is, but what you really love doing, what you can help out, and how we've been working together. I kind of use the analogy of I'm your beta tester. It's like, hey George, I got these components, but I haven't been really able, or I have these toys, I haven't really been able to plug them in, and knowing it without knowing it, kind of being going through that process with you, and knowing like, oh crap, this is not working. How do I approach Anthony with this situation? Because a lot of times there are certain there's a lot of things where we've done tit for tat, to where
Mhm.
like this is costing me, but I know the bigger value is going to be in the future. But I have realized I've been in the same boat, and can
Yeah.
I overcome those situations that I've been in the past,
Yeah.
not let it derail me and know like, okay, let me move forward with George and see, because I do see the bigger vision with him, and also I can help other real estate investors slash wholesalers with the same thing, because the same struggles George is going through, I can see a lot of people going through that as well. So what do you think about that? And as far as I guess segue into that, what are the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make with CRM?
Man. So when we first were working together, as you know, I was working with a couple other, entrepreneurs or other, real estate investors. So I kind of got a way in to see how different people ran their operations.
Hmm.
And yeah, it was surprising. It helped me to see that no matter what, when one section is off, the whole thing's off.
Right.
And when I say section, it means, as far as how you're handling your lead generation, whether it's cold calling or whether it's marketing through Facebook Marketplace or whether it's paper lead or whatever that is. And
Hmm.
then how do you handle the management of the lead nurturing,
Right.
and how are you selling? How does that process look like? And then within that is how it's streamlined. So there's so many moving pieces, I guess you could say. Um,
Right.
it's just a matter of finding, and everything doesn't have to be perfect. It's just having everything dialed in to where I think I use the analogy of the buckets, to where like if you have that one bucket,
Right.
naturally whatever that bucket is, it's going to have holes, and this lead, with the
Hmm.
businesses in general. And as the bucket fills up with water, you want to make sure there's uh, another bucket or something catching it as it falls out of the holes, because they're going to be holes. And as long
Yeah.
as you catch them with a new bucket, yeah, some may splatter off the sides, but if you catch majority of them, they're going to
Right.
funnel down to the next bucket. And it just kind of follows that sequence of, like a sales funnel. But just keeping that approach and having that holistic approach to, the whole thing. I guess circling back around to your question, what do I see? You said, what did I see you? What was the question again? I'm sorry, bro.
No, no, no. I believe you answered already. The question was, what are the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make with CRMs? And I think you kind of mentioned it of different being being able to recognize those buckets or those roles and those processes, and really being able to geek out, and like almost like I always make fun of this analogy. Whenever I was a mechanic in the army,
Mhm.
there was a book. I think it's called SOP, Standard Operation Procedures, how to take off a tire, and it was step by step. Even how to like bend down and use your legs, not your back. We're
Hmm.
like, crap, man, I hate this, but in most businesses, that's what makes them successful, because they have a something to them. They have SOPs written out for every little thing.
Yeah, and having them written out is one thing, because no one really stares at them, and even a doctor, they don't look at the medical book the whole time you're in the room with you.
Right.
You just kind of use it as a guide. But again, having that system, just having some form of a system, is probably the biggest thing.
Okay. Well, I love when you mentioned buckets because this is something leading into the next question, Anthony. But why do so many leads slip through the cracks?
Life, life, man. There's so many things that could happen. I mean, you could set an appointment, and then if someone misses the appointment, and you don't have anything in place to catch it, to where you can remind or follow back up, boom, they slip through the cracks. Leads come in, and then you get to them later, like, oh, I'll call them in a little bit, or I'm busy right now. Boom, slip through the cracks because now they're probably not going to answer when you call, and
Right.
then I want to follow up hamster wheel. Um, Pretty much, I mean, it could be many ways, man. But that's the main ways I think, the missed appointments. Because
Hmm.
once you kind of have them on a system and you have the appointment, you know what you want to do after the appointment. But let's say
Right.
you get to the appointment, and now what? Yeah, oh, they didn't answer. Yeah, you want to go back and try to, catch them, but it's better to just have something that's in place that just flows them right back to, a follow up system so they can get back on.
It's almost in connection with that phrase that we hear in the industry, Anthony, is speed for lead. Once that lead comes in, what's happening to it? And
Yes.
then how fast are we doing? Because if I'm not following up with them, somebody else in the industry is following up with them as well. And so a lot of times I am learning that it is really looking at that person. It was like almost just sales that person. And I think that it's up to debate, like who is the customer, who's the client. To when
Yeah.
we are, depending to your point, which part, where are we at in the process? If we're wholesaling it, is the seller the customer, or
Mhm.
is the buyer that we're gonna sell it to the client, or vice versa? But I guess um, I would say in that same realm of missing out, what are things that you believe can help out with a proper CRM that things
Um,
don't fall through the cracks?
Yeah, it's just being aware, just aware of it in general, and that goes back to just understanding your business, understanding your system, and that's the thing too. When people say system, it's like, oh my god, system. The word isn't meant to be a disaster. It's just direction. It's just a flow. I even live my life that way. But if you have like a general flow of, like, if you know what your general flow is,
Hmm.
then you're more aware and able to recognize where things can fall through versus, oh, we just got a list and we just bang them out and we just banging them. You don't know where anything is. You don't know how many times you called them, and obviously the metrics, you want to keep up with
Right.
that to know what works better, what works, worse.
Okay. Got you. And I guess the next question would be, Anthony, when should a business hire people versus automate?
Oh, I love that one. I love that one. So a lot of people I notice they want to automate everything, which I get it. It's the trend. Is what's going on. They want to automate
Hmm.
everything. That's the problem because once you start automating without having like a full true sequence, then
Hmm.
that's when you get the problem. That's when things start backlogging, and now you really don't know what's going on. So I would say definitely have I mean, obviously an SOP for starters, but
Hmm.
have that system in place of how you run things, how you do it, because the AI can't replace the human. Like, you still have to run your business. You still have to have the proven way how to interact with humans.
Right.
Because the AI is gonna close those gaps and streamline things for you. So just
Got
having your business figured out, or figuring it out with the consultant or whoever. But once you
hmm
have that, then it will be time to automate that part.
Got it. Got it. Okay. And so right now, I think this is a good question because I think this is where we're at together. Because
Mm.
obviously, having a clear, to your point, having a clear vision of what the process even looks like, and getting with someone like yourself, and instead of me saying, "Hey, Anthony, create a go high level account for me," I'm doing direct to seller. Like, bro, we need to jump on, we need to jump on a longer call. Like, what is the process? How do you want it to work? What is your lead source? To your point, are you cold calling? Are you paying for PPL? Are you paying for meta ads? What does that look like? And what's happening once they come into your funnel or to your bucket? And how are they being broken down to, and like you're saying, each department? And so I don't know if that was a question, so I apologize if I ranted, but how is AI changing acquisitions and lead management?
I think it's a huge thing. I was actually looking at a stat because our ads run off of, like, I think I shared that with you before, like our the ads that we use now for our publishing on the smart agency side. It pulls data and metrics, and I remember saying like 78% of people um, don't answer or wait. Hold on, go back, bro. Ask your
Ooh.
question again. Yeah, go back because I was thinking of three things and I was
No
mixing
problem, no problem.
it up.
No. I was gonna say, how is AI changing acquisitions and lead management?
Yes. So the stat shows that I think it was 78% of people don't reply after you don't, reach out once you don't get them on that first attempt when they're
Mm-hmm.
reaching out to you. So a lot of AI is coming in places to close that gap to where you can answer or you can reply right away. So that's the first thing, just catching them to where you don't miss their call,
Mm-hmm.
because everything's about convenience. Everything's about when can they get it now? I mean, if we think
Right.
of Amazon. Amazon is a company that's pretty much trumps Walmart now, but it's because of convenience. Like we don't really see Amazon stores, but they're everywhere because they're convenient.
Right.
Um, Same thing with Apple. Apple takes the same strategy where they pull people into their world and they make it a convenience. You got the Apple iPhone and you're a jogger or you're a runner, you got to get
Mm-hmm.
the AirPods, and it just becomes convenient for you. So it's just about keeping everything, you know, like meeting the demand, I guess you can say. And the
Mm-hmm.
demand is, I want it now. When I'm interested, I need it now. When they're in buying mode, and the
Got
AI is going to help, circumvent that to where, or if I'm busy living my life, or I'm busy, on another job, now AI can fill that gap just enough to touch them, keep them warm, and then enough for a human to step back in to be able to close that deal.
got it. Okay.
People still want to feel humans, though. I mean, AI
Right.
is going to be great, but you still need a human touch because people want to. I mean, everybody knows AI is everywhere. So
Right.
I would say using it as a supplement and helping close the gaps from those mundane things like tasks, follow ups. Um,
Mm-hmm.
for example, like we talked about in your business, with the follow ups, you got to reach out, 5, 10 times before you get a response and close a deal.
Yes.
Well, if AI is making those calls for you, no one's going to answer anyways, but they still have to be made. So
Yeah.
even if no one answers and AI makes it, now the 14th, 15th time they answer, boom, now AI can not only give them the 15th call, but also
Mm-hmm.
capture the information that you would normally capture and then show
Right.
up whenever it's time to show up versus doing all that chasing, and waiting to get them back on. And when you can
Got it. Got
still
it.
enjoy your pina coladas or coaching your team or whatever it is that you're doing, and then just
Right.
to the appointment and ready to do your thing.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess to share with the individuals listening, I do appreciate what you've implemented so far, because it kind of went hand in hand with, like, say, going back to the journey of seeing where we're at, because you have been a pivotal I guess person or point in my journey right now with why I'm where I'm at now compared to where I was before, because I did have to learn, being with somebody else, being able to monitor my CRM. And this is another question I can be created on a different podcast, but the different versions of integrator, there's, I
Mhm.
didn't know that. It's like crap,
I didn't
I
either.
went and so, but I appreciate so far, like I said, the journey, because throughout the process, I've been slowly learning, like, hey, Anthony, because before the other guy, I would say, hey, bro, I just want to plug in AI. Like, bro, you can't plug in AI if you don't have a process yet. And I had to be patient and be able to be, I guess, humble enough or receptive to that critique or that advice, or okay, I'm not ready for it yet. So I
Yeah.
appreciate working with you now and kind of, utilizing those things that you have all together and slowly implementing this to where now I do see where AI comes in and sends those quote unquote redundant text messages, but those text messages do turn into appointments to where now I can really like own in on my closing skills and eventually free myself up to where now we have that those case studies to plug in the next person, to where that is one thing on, I guess, on a side note of really learning what your vision is, and when people join your team, really having them understand what a day of success looks like, whether
Yes.
it's calling 100 people or having AI call 100 people, but that one person is interested in offer, jump in on the call and just really owning that spot, if that makes sense.
Yeah, giving that human touch, giving that
Mhm.
human touch. AI will keep them fresh, keep them warm, but
Mhm.
it's up to us to come in and do the thing. It's
Hmm.
like the doctor. I think you mentioned that analogy before. You come in, you go to the receptionist. First, you book the appointment, then you show up, you're the receptionist, then you go in the waiting room, then the nurse calls you back, you wait again, and then finally the doctor
Yeah.
comes for what, 15, maybe 10 minutes, touch you here,
Hmm.
touch you there, boop, boop. Oh, I got you. And they write up a little. Like, how does he get
Yes.
paid the big bucks? He's
Yes. Yes.
the thing that, that drives the whole thing. But same analogy, bro.
Right. And but yeah, yeah, I do see I see the process going through, and knowing that before my hiring process sucked, but it kind of is that crutch of kind of being a nice guy and thinking, oh man, everybody wants this, and like crap, man, not everybody's making calls. Does George got to be an a-hole? And but also at the same time having that self reflection of, hey, maybe my business is not built yet to bring in all these people, and then I don't even know if these people want what I want. And so let me see if I can take them out. And so you have helped out. You've been a pivotal
Thank you.
point to add the AI, and slowly now we're integrating the AI cold calling, which is that initial touch to where a lot of these people are not going to answer, but this is the task that I was asking from other individuals, and even myself knowing that I don't want to do this, and majority of people probably not going to want to do this anyways, but let me at least go through the process with Anthony to kind of tweak things to where now I don't need anybody in that position, and now this product that I have that you're helping me build, it's gonna make it more, I guess, more appealing for somebody to join. Like, oh man, now I really want to close. Like, all right, mofo, I got you ready. Hey, I got the four pillars. They're ready for an offer. And if you don't know how to underwrite, let me underwrite it for you. But I want you to close these deals.
There you go, man. And that
Hmm.
goes again, like we started off the conversation about having the sectors of the business lined up. To where in the
Hmm.
beginning it was a big clutter and everything was together, and now we've literally untangled everything. We've got the cold calling aspect set up, got the lead generation set up. Now that we have this lead management set up and the nurturing is rolling,
Hmm.
and whatever problem presents itself, we readjust, realign, and try to find a solution. But that's the beauty of systems. That's the beauty of operation. That's why I
Yeah.
nerd out about it,
Right. And I appreciate you nerding out because I kind of have, I use that analogy where I think I'm 50-50, visionary integrator, because I
man.
enjoy it. Like I can nerd out and say, hey, Anthony, what happens when this lead comes in the system? And then you take your time and show me the flow chart. If they say yes, boom, 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 boom. If they say no, boom, 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 boom. And then this is where you come in. It's like, oh crap, now I can wake up freely or have less anxiety or stress because these calls are not being made, and now I have to jump in there. And now that I don't like it, I just feel like this is not the best use of my time, to where if I'm spending an hour calling 100 people, nobody answers,
Mhm.
I could get AI to do this for me,
Exactly.
or I
Exactly.
can get somebody else to do it, but knowing that a lot of people may not that see it as valuable because they may be in the stage where I just want to at least learn how to jump on the phone. I want to learn how it feels to be rejected, and learning that and that could be the coaching part where that rejection is not really towards you, it's something about them that they're getting angry, getting a lot of calls. So that should help you understand, like, how can I be different from these other yahoos while
Yeah.
I'm jumping on that call, but having to go through, like the basketball analogy, taking 100 free throw shots and probably making not a majority of them, but learning through the process, how can I improve that percentage?
Constantly improving. Yeah. Always be
Mhm.
testing, man.
Right.
I like it.
Okay. Cool, cool. Yeah, man. As far as yeah, to the people watching, hopefully you got the clue. But yeah, basically, Anthony's helped me out on the CRM side. Slowly but surely, we have a couple testimonials or case studies, which going through the whole process of Anthony helping me find the right source of, if I can share that with everybody,
Of
the
course.
the process of having, Zane and your team go through the public records, pull that information that can be tedious, but then having it in a spreadsheet and putting into a component like prop AI that I'm kind of testing out with another lead manager, and learning that the goal at the end of the day is leverage. So being able to get somebody to help out with that part, still testing it out, but knowing that once that lead comes into the CRM, it's pretty much ready.
There we go.
And more than likely, if the lead is coming from somebody outside, I'm gonna take care of that lead and I'm gonna put more attention. But is AI helping me, or is the team helping me out with those 50 other leads that probably don't need my attention, and make sure that it gets pushed through? But thanks to you and what you've been able to do, kind of just monitoring to where once it goes to the section of warm needs underwriting, boom, that's where time for me to take action, you know,
Exactly.
and maybe
Exactly.
listen to the AI or kind of look over the notes so far. Is this lead ready to be underwritten yet? Or crap, there's no mortgage statement in here. We need to
Exactly.
go back and get the mortgage statement.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. And that's kind of the design of it, really. I think I shared with this with you too about the Iron Man suit analogy. But
Hmm.
ironically, Iron Man is my favorite Marvel movie. I'm not a Marvel fan. I never really. I think I'm like the only one in the family that's not.
Uh-huh.
I'll watch them, but I'm not like the die.
Right.
But I always loved Iron Man, bro. I always loved it. But then it's so ironic. Like again, the analogy I use with the Iron Man suit is
Hmm.
basically having everything at your fingertips. Like obviously you're not gonna fly across the universe, but
Right.
it's something to make sure like you said, you always have monitor modes where you have access to all the metrics and all the moving pieces to see
Hmm.
what's moving the way you want it to and what's not moving the way you don't want it to. And then
Yeah.
now then having a fingertips to be able to flip it and change and adjust and test
Yeah.
everything was working. But no, that's basically the idea behind it is to kind of streamline it, not necessarily to take people's jobs, but
Hmm.
and then that's another thing people always say, "Oh, AI is coming; it's going to take everybody's jobs." It won't. It won't take everybody's jobs. It'll take the people's jobs that don't have like the drive or the initiative or the creativity. And
Right.
one that says creativity, you have your own ideas of what you want and how you want things created. You have a system and a process you can create. AI just comes in and steps in to help bridge the gap and make things smooth.
Got it. Got it. And thank you for, and obviously Iron Man. Same here, bro. It's having that suit and being able to just tell it what you need it to do, and trust that it's going to happen. And eventually, as you learn and grow, I can see where we're at right now, Anthony. Having one person really monitoring I guess, the acquisition side of are the leads coming in. I don't have to exactly touch them, but as long as I see them flowing through the process, everything should be fine. And then once it's time for the closer to jump in, now the closer knows what to do. So looking at the outside, eventually having that one person that's in charge of the two people,
Yeah,
the lead managing and acquisitions, and then having somebody plugged in on the dispo side. But I guess going back, if I can get somebody to fill out those roles, then now we can slowly work on the dispo side. How does that work? Because there's going to be a lot of similar system and processes with dispo, because it's
hmm,
almost the same, just reverse. It's,
exactly.
hey Anthony, do you want this nice 3-2? It's in Dallas. It'll make a great co-living for you, and that's
Exactly.
when you're really selling that product. Is way easier than, let me sell you on my value of how I can help you sell this property, and but not knowing that until I go through these questions with you. It's
Yeah,
not really about the house, it's really understanding what is it about this house that's stopping you from doing what you want to do. And once I'm able to hear that, see if I can help you out with that by giving you those options.
there we go. Yep. There you go. We can't do anything until we know what we're working with. If
Right.
not, now you just shooting in the dark. It's so funny not to go off track, but today in church again, I don't know
Uh,
if I'm supposed to
no, no,
mention,
you're good. You're good.
but the sermon they had a story that he was telling, and it was about a guy in the forest. He was just kind of wandering around, and everywhere he'd go, he'd see bow and arrows stuck into the tree with, and it hit the perfect bullseye every time. And every couple meters or yards that he'd go, he'll see another one on the tree. And he's like, man, who in the world is out here like being so sharp? Like, how does this even work? Like, man, who is this? Like, he's
Right.
skillful. And finally finds this little boy and he sees him shooting an arrow or whatever. He's like, hey, are you the one that put the arrows in the trees? How did you get so good? I mean, you hit the bullseye every time.
Right.
And the little boy just kind of chuckles and laughs. He's like, oh, haha. The way I do it, I actually shoot the arrow first. And then once I
Yeah.
shoot the arrow and it hits the tree, then I go and paint around it. And it shows as if I'm landing right in the bullseye every time. So the
Mhm.
analogy is basically like, don't get fooled by it. Just have direction and know what you're doing. Don't just shoot and then hope that it works and then just make it work with where it is.
Right.
Create what you want to do. Figure out where you want to shoot. Shoot it directly at that, or else you'll be painting bullseyes all over town.
Oh man, I love that. No, that's a good analogy. And then obviously, like I said, the silver lining is also, like I said, trusting God that He has you. He has a plan for you. you just got to take you need to take your time and be patient and consistent in the process. But yeah, I
Sure.
love that. It's almost like, hey, Anthony, where do you want to be a year from now? Almost like the other day when we had the conversation. Hey, Anthony, now that you have the summer break, what would be the goal that you want to do by the end of the summer, which is 2 or 3 months?
Mm,
And you tell me, oh man, I want to get a deal done. So it's almost like you're throwing the arrow. I either want this co-living and I want this fix and flip,
mm.
putting the circle around and now figuring out how to do it.
Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
And then knowing that, oh man, if I can help you get this done, Anthony, that will make me feel good because it feels like a lot of times throughout the journey, it felt like you have put out a lot of times without thinking what you're gonna get back, and but the feeling's mutual. But
Mm.
that's why it's kind of like getting to know each other. Like, hey, George, can I ask you this question? Hopefully, I'm not coming off as an a hole. It's like, no, no, this is the whole point of the phrase we mentioned earlier, chasing the relationship, not the deal.
Yeah.
It's really being able to talk about these uncomfortable things to where at the end of it, when it is clear, it wasn't that bad. It's
Yeah.
like putting in that offer, asking that question, and then really figuring out as in order for us to be problem solvers, or in order for us to see if our service matches what you're looking for, I really need to understand what you're trying to accomplish. Hence, why this is called a discovery call. I'm
Exactly.
really trying to discover if what I have to offer matches what you're trying to look for. And
Exactly. Exactly. I love it. That's the fun part for me. I mean, people call it like, oh, you're consulting. Like, oh, that's what that is. Oh,
mm-hmm.
that's yeah. Like, it's just hearing people's story and then understanding it, and then knowing how to work through the problem or to find a solution. Like, that's fun. I don't know. Maybe it's my only childness. I grew up
Mm-hmm.
putting puzzles together, playing video games, but I don't know. I just really enjoy that, man.
Yeah. No, 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 and it's not you. It's a natural. It's going back to the childhood,
Yeah.
uh, characteristics. You being a young man with some beautiful queens out there asking you silly stuff, and you're like, oh, let me take the time. Let me really understand why she's asking this.
Yeah.
Let me really get down to the nitty gritty. Or we mentioned when we were off camera about one of your daughters presenting you a picture. Hey, daddy, how you like this picture? Oh, it look better with some seagulls. Hey, what are you doing? And she gets mad, but you don't realize it. And then she mentioned it to your wife. Then your wife said, "Babe," and like, "Oh crap."
It's a balance, man. It's a balance, bro.
Mhm.
So true. So true.
Cool, cool. All right. Well, segueing into the end, Anthony, I was going to ask you, what has entrepreneurship taught you about yourself?
Whew, man, it made me dig deep, deep,
Hmm.
deep. It's definitely been the hardest thing I've tried
Hmm.
or attempted to do in my life. Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot. It just taught me resilience and just
Hmm.
don't quit. Like don't stop. Um, man, it's hard to even put it in words, but yeah, just resilience, and not only that, but just being able to create and be free to create and
Hmm.
not afraid to create. I think I had a little taste of it like coming up right out of high school. I was like, I was making music. You know, everyone went through their phase where they were making music and rapping and singing. And I
Nice.
remember the process of, I remember the process of making music. And then we get the instrumental, or we pick the instrumental. Oh, I like this one. We go back, we listen to the instrumental, and then what we want to make it about, and then you make the
Uh-huh.
title, and then you kind of start piecing things together. But that whole process, and then when you finish, you put the CD or you put it out, and you have a
Right.
finished product. Well, then fast forward even a step further, the little neighborhood, or I say neighborhood, the city where we were,
Uh-huh.
people liked it. So we started putting the CD. It wasn't nothing big, but it was just the
Nice.
idea of like, whoa, this is something
Mhm.
that came from nothing. And it was just an idea. And
Yes.
we took this, we recorded it, and then the memories and the laughter and jokes we've had throughout the
Yeah.
process of it, and just seeing that, it just made me, I don't know, it just opened up a creative bone, I guess you could say. Like
Mhm.
I'm such a math, science to the point type person, but
Right.
that mixture of the arts and kind of
Yes.
putting it together. And that's what the entrepreneur did. It kind of gave me more of the arts feel to where I can create and not feel like I have to play within lines, but then
Mhm.
also learning how to get within lines because you don't want to just create anything because you want to create things that solve problems for people that that they have value in. So
Right.
just that whole process, man, and just being free, being open, and just trusting in myself and my own thoughts and beliefs and letting them manifest and seeing what they turn into.
Right. Just almost like, even though right now the small section is like the phrase trust the process, it's
Mhm.
almost like just trust the journey. And you mentioned church earlier, knowing that even before we came out the womb, God had us
Yes.
had our path destined, and sometimes we're knuckleheads and we want to go left, and here goes Anthony on the right, like, hey George, I have everything for you. But they're like, nah, I'm a knucklehead, I want to go left. And what do you have, Anthony? Let's see what you got working on. And throughout the process, getting to know each other. But when you were in that phase of rapping and making music,
Mhm.
I was curious, did you have a name? Did you have a rap name?
I did, and I still get. I had a couple actually, but I still get like texts from my friend. Actually, 2 days ago, my buddy, he said, "Hey,
Let's do it. What is it?
the worst name I had was
Uh-huh.
stomach ache."
I mean, was it
I don't know
spelled out
where
exactly, or did you spell it
so
different?
it
Stomach
was spelled stomach ache. No, no, that one was normal. That one was normal. The one I like, it was
ache.
you taking me back, bro. So the other
Let's
one was Showtime. Showtime the
Showtime.
Prince. That was the one I like. That was the one
Ooh.
I like. Showtime.
Well, why Showtime?
I don't know. I feel like my style was more of a. It was bright. It was action. It was fast. It was
Mm.
slow. It was a show. I felt like I tried to take people on a ride, whether I was, rhyming at a certain pace, and I would change
Yeah.
the tempo and just kind of playing with the music. So I just feel like it was always when I come on, it's about to be a show.
Nice, nice. Okay. And so now taking that Showtime to the next level, to your point, it's almost like you were mentioning earlier with your wife. She has to push you to, hey, babe, let's go to this event. And
Yeah.
man, I don't really want to go, but I'm sure once you got there,
Yep.
that's when Showtime kicked into her. Like, oh crap, there goes so and so. There
Yep.
goes so and so. Oh, we're talking about basketball. Oh man, this is where I need to be at. And now you're really lighting up, and you are really giving a show. But
Mhm.
also, yeah, I would say that's a good analogy. But yeah, man, that's something I didn't know before. Showtime or stomach ache.
Yeah,
That's
stomach ache, the flu, because that was the first one. Oh my god, I'm glad I retired that one early and went with Showtime.
oh, nice, nice,
But
cool, man.
yeah, it's good to get pulled out like that though, because again, inside of me, I do have this artistic and this fun, but it just doesn't come out because I just, man, I'm really chill, laid back, go with the flow. But it's like I think I shared this with you too. Like when my mom passed away, I felt a sense of urgency to put that out more, or to push it out more because I saw her life, and she
Yeah,
didn't want to do that, but subconsciously she did affect people that way, and she was a light on their lives. So I
mhm,
realized the same light that I'll have, kind of she had, and it's like I don't
yeah,
want my life to go by without
yeah.
purposely and intentionally shining it and pouring it and putting Showtime into it, I guess.
Right.
So even though it's not comfortable when I get out, it does feel better. And then on the rides home, I'm
Mhm,
always the one talking, "Hey man, this was fun. Did you see that time?" Da, da, da. And she's just
mhm.
like, "Okay, Anthony, we're done. Like it's over." And she's talking to me, but it's just like I'll kind of get that bug afterwards. But it takes a
Yeah,
while to get me out, man. Yeah, it definitely
it,
does.
it's almost Anthony with when a lot of people say I'm a good closer, but I always get in my own head, and it's almost like you're saying like, oh man, it almost like the analogy of a roller coaster ride.
Mm,
Depending, I guess, for the people out there, I don't know if Six Flag is as popular as it was before, but being in that long line, you're like, oh man, I don't really want to ride this ride, and you start boom, you hear the sound boom, and then when you finally do it, like either 1 minute or 2 minutes later, Anthony, you're like, oh man, let me do it again. So where it's almost, I think you probably had that feeling as well. It's getting over that small hump of thinking mindset wise. What if
yes.
this goes wrong? What if this goes wrong? What if that? Like, well,
Yep.
why don't we switch that out? What happens if we can get it? What is the learning lesson that we're going to get out of it? And that's a big thing, I think, with entrepreneurship of
Yes.
being relentless and really being clear on the vision, and then knowing that you're probably gonna fall a lot more times.
Yeah.
But if you keep getting up, eventually you'll get it. And a lot of the movies we watch, they kind of share the same thing.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
even in the Bible, the book of the Bible, it's like almost, I share that with you. The was it the book of David, or the whole story with David being a
Yeah.
shepherd,
Yep.
but knowing that even though he knew he's going to be the king, and his current stage and his current role, he had to play that role and eventually get to that stage whenever God knows when it's time.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Everything's it's like preparation until that. If you fall those 100 times, you must have stepped on a shoestring. You've done a lot of things. Know what they are. Be aware of
Right.
it, and then get up and do it again.
And not letting that small failure affect you as much as the first time. Like, oh, this is just part of the process.
Exactly. Exactly.
Uh,
I'm trying to work to that place where I'm like, I just like that kid that just runs out. I remember my daughter first time we took her to the beach, the gymnast, ironically,
mhm.
but she was no more than 3 years old. We went to, I think we were in San Diego. We were at the beach, and she the water and the waves coming in, and she just tail straight to the water. I'm like,
Okay.
what's this kid doing? But she just attacking it. She's like, oh, this is cool. She's run, not knowing, she could have got swept up. So obviously we went to grab her, but just having that courageous approach in life. And that's one thing I would say with entrepreneurs. That's something I'm trying to lean into as well. Like I mentioned
Right.
about being intentional, but don't be a jump, run, go, jump. Like
Yeah.
you won't know until you know. So just throw it out there, shoot your shot, however you want to call it, do the
Mhm.
thing, and then take the feedback. We grow with the feedback. Even if
Yeah.
we win, we grow to how what did they like about it? Okay, well, let me do more of that. It's all about the feedback, man. But
Right.
you can't get feedback if you don't take action. Shoot the
Yeah.
shot.
Or be able to what call it pie on face. Like everybody's laughing, and instead of being angry, like, why y'all laughing at me? It's like, that was pretty funny. Because as a kid, if you had the same thing, you wouldn't. And I think that's what sometimes what I admire about older people, Anthony, and like say, condolences on your mom. I know it was a couple years ago, but yeah, knowing that a lot of the things that she was able to do, now you're passing on. Now she passed on the torch to you, and with your beautiful girls, learning to share that with them within themselves, and also add their flavor on top of that. But I forgot where I was going with that. As far as yeah, just being relentless and being able, oh yeah, being able to fall on your face and everybody's laughing.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, that was funny. Now let's keep working. Almost basketball.
Yep.
Mamba mentality. A couple times whenever he lost the finals, what
Yep.
was he doing? If not the next day, probably the same night.
Yep.
Everybody else is partying and doing. He's in the court.
Bro.
Just
It's funny you mentioned that. I don't know if we have time for it, but I have a funny story about that. It's a third party story. It's not even me, but I thought it
no.
was pretty cool. So the year, I don't know what year it was, but when the Lakers lost to the Spurs,
Mm-hmm.
Kobe Bryant was young on the team, was but before they won all their championships.
Mm-hmm.
And my cousin, which is like a big brother to me, made especially in the entrepreneur space. I looked up to him for a lot. I look up to him for a lot. He's here in Dallas as well. He's a big chef here. But and he works with Mark Cuban, not the name drop, but he works with the Cuban
Yeah.
Foundation. But anyways, he had access. He was working in LA at the time. And after the game, he just happened to be in a nightclub. And everyone was kind of partying, and Kobe was there. And Kobe was kind of sitting off to the side, like just kind of hanging out there, but not really with everybody. And my cousin told me the story of how they kind of talked and they met, and he didn't really talk in the sense like, "Oh, I'm Kobe Bryant" or whatever. He was just kind of talking about the game and just in general terms of how it went and how everybody's so easy to move on and they don't really care and it's
Right.
not the same and all these things like that. And at the end of the conversation, he's like, "Nice to meet you. I'm Kobe Bryant." Exchange handshakes or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
as you mentioned in your story, not even knowing, oh, he's probably over here doing this, this, and this, and everybody's partying. Where I had, the story told by my cousin that he literally met him firsthand back then, and he literally saw him in the club sitting down, and they sat and had a conversation. It was like a bar, not a club, but they were
Mm-hmm.
just gonna have a conversation where everybody was partying. Kobe was just down and upset and worrying about getting better. But all those things like behind the scenes you don't never get to see. I mean, we know because Kobe's a big name, but the
Yeah.
same thing goes for us on a small scale of constantly putting in the work when people don't see it and getting up when we fall,
Yeah.
constantly pushing forward. But no, bro, eventually, somebody be thinking, man, we need to just keep going like George did and how he put it together,
Yeah.
he didn't stop, or how Anthony did. Like, as long as we keep doing this thing, somebody's gonna be inspired by it. And worst case scenario, we're still gonna reach our dreams, our goals. So something
Yes.
I try to live by for sure, man.
No, I love it. No, that's a great story. Now, actually, believe it or not, Anthony, I think when I guess the Lakers were with when they had Kobe and Shaq,
Uh-huh.
I remember one night we had went out to the club when I was stationed in San Antonio, and I remember meeting Shaq, but it was number one. I was well, yeah. I was on the. I was so drunk. I guess I blacked out. But I remember meeting him, and they were making fun of me because I guess when I shook his hand, I think I was like about mid thigh to him. Like, oh man. And number two was so dark, so you probably just saw my image at the club. But yeah, apparently I met Shaq a very long time ago.
Oh, no, there we go, man. We on our
But
way, brother. We on our way.
oh yeah.
That's cool.
But also I guess and this may be a segue to, just like you shared that story. It was I love growing when I had a nickname. I wasn't rapping like you were, but I really liked playing basketball. And even though I was 5'3", I really enjoyed playing with my friends because that was a moment for us to just have fun,
Yeah.
shoot around, and win games, lose some games,
Mhm.
but also getting advice from one of my buddies. Like, George, in order for you to become better, you can't just play with your friends. You have to
Mhm.
play with other people in order to improve. And so I like, oh man, I didn't get that at time, or just as me being lazy
Mhm.
and kind of not having the mindset I do now, but understanding it now in order
Yeah.
to challenge yourself
Yep.
and get better.
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Look for feedback. Look for somebody that's going to keep it real and tell you
Mm.
how it is. I actually programmed that into my Claude that I use.
Nice.
Like, no, keep it real. I always procrastinate, so make me like you have to be aware of your faults so you can push it,
Yes.
girl. But no, that's great.
Okay. Well, sweet, bro. I think I just I love how you mentioned that because that was one question that's going to segue, which is what's something people think is a technology problem, and it's actually a leadership problem.
Ooh, ooh. A lot of the questions are kind of going back to the same thing. It's just it's your operate. So you have to have the vision first. You have to be clear with what you have, where your place
Okay.
is, the environment that you're setting, the expectations. Like you have to know what that is before anyone can come in and follow those and match up to what you're looking for. So I
Right.
think just being clear with that, and I think you do a great job of mentioning that as well. Like being clear with what direction you're trying to go, whatever the vision is, even
Right.
down to the minute like that they hold. Like, hey, this is what this book, like the book traction we talked about,
Yes.
where this is what this position is. This is your main KPI. This is what you focus on. And if you either can do it, you don't want to do it, or you're not capable of doing it. But whatever it is, we solve that issue once we get that feedback. Um,
Right.
yeah, the hope you have to be clear on what you're trying to do. Because a lot of people, oh, the system's not answering right. Well,
Yeah.
did you program? Did you fill out the questionnaire to help us program it the right way, or did you remember? It's just people change so often, and we assume that the AI is going to change too. AI
Right.
isn't any smarter than us. It's just advanced. And to clarify that, it doesn't have any extra information that we don't have. It just can get to it faster, but the critical thinking aspect still relies on us. Some AI can critically think, but the best version of that is still going to be human. Because I mean, ultimately, they're being trained to act like and respond like humans. So if we can maintain our human level and our expertise and our touch,
Hmm.
AI filling the gaps of the things that we already know, we already got lined out, and this is what we want every day, A, B, C, D. Whatever that is, but you got that, automate that, let that run. And that way you won't have a dependency on AI completely. Because when you do,
Right.
everything, then it kind of takes a brain of its own, and now you're playing catch up.
Right. Okay. Appreciate that. Yeah, because it's almost like to your point, having that clear vision of, yeah, I may have say $1 million. Like, hey, Anthony, this is what I want. Make it happen. Like, I need more than that, bro. I don't care if you throw that $1 million at me. I just don't know what I'm helping you with. And I've been down that road before, and that comes within yourself of knowing what your value is as well as what your vision is, and knowing that I'm willing to walk away from this
Yep.
and seek another individual. Seems like we may not be a good fit, but I think that's just the next stage we're at right now, knowing what those boundaries are.
Yes.
Those boundaries
Yes.
are knowing that what I'm willing to do, what I'm not willing to do. If it's
Hmm.
like, hey George, come join us. We're talking about RV parks. Man, I don't have jack squat to do with that right now.
Yeah.
You guys go enjoy it, but since hopefully I remember who you are, so when somebody
Boom.
does come to me about RV parks, and I can
Boom.
push them your way.
Boom. That's been the hack, bro. That's been the hack. And I've tried to let's leverage. Like
Yes.
that's been the hack. I've been trying to do that so much, and that's made things so much more smoother versus
Hmm.
trying to do everything your own, up being everything. Like leverage people, leverage relationships. I mean, hell, look at our relationship. We have a friendship. We work
Yes.
together well, and I'm able to keep my arm in the wholesale side, which I love. I mean, that's part of my 3 Gs. I love
Yeah.
it. I can't do that and automations and all of these things. So you leverage the relationships and the people that you have, pour into them, share what you have, and then before you know, you have partnerships that grow and manifest into things that are bigger than what we even imagined at first.
Love it. Love it. Okay. Well, I don't know if this is the last question, but I see this question a lot of times, and I would love to hear your answer. But what advice would you give your younger self?
Ooh, be I can't say be confident because it's not a confidence problem. I've always looked for assurance. I think that
Hmm.
has a lot to do with like my. I don't think my child wasn't bad at all, but it has a lot to do with the upbringing. I
Hmm.
look for reassurance. I was brought up kind of not tough love, but just tough, and it worked fine. But as I got older and got into unfamiliar territories, I wasn't sure. Like, am I going the right way? So I was looking for assurance a lot. When
Hmm.
in all actuality, just push, just go. Like I said, my daughter earlier, just run, just go into it, and then you'll
Yeah.
find out. Because a lot of times, maybe at least 50% of the times, I realized the stuff that I kind of knew, but I was just waiting for assurance. Or oh yeah,
Right.
you're right. So what are you waiting for? And that wastes a lot of time. It costs a lot of time. So I
Okay.
would say
Okay.
just act, just go act and chase people and not relationships.
Gotcha. It's almost Anthony, one of my friends, Chris. We had a well, not a debate. We had a discussion of the difference between fake it till you make it
Hmm.
and act as if. You
Yes,
know, fake
yes,
it. You want $1 million, fake it till you make it. To where no, a millionaire act as if. What does a millionaire do every morning? They
exactly.
wake up early in the morning. They go work out. They have no excuse.
Mhm.
Or Kobe Bryant have the mama mentality. Act as if you do have $1 million. So what do millionaires do? They take care of their health. They make that priority.
Yep.
They make sure they take care of their family, and also they learn what their business looks like, what they need help with, and make it happen.
There we go.
Uh,
There we go. That's the golden nugget right there.
hmm Sweet, but obviously to anybody listening, we're I guess going back to that part, always becoming a student and always being always becoming a student and learning as you grow,
Mhm.
and also I guess another was that other one I like saying is and before you can become the master, you have to become the fool. And
Yes.
you're always learning, and that's one thing that I'm slowly learning, that I don't want to know everything, but enjoying it, and then keep learning to where sometimes perfect scenario, Anthony, with all the data you have, you know this person wants to the perfect solution is sub 2,
Hmm.
but I know that, but I need to play the game, or I had to learn how to your point, solve that problem by letting them tell me that, yes, Anthony, I do understand that my property is the balance is 160 and it can only sell for 160. So,
Hmm.
but my biggest headache is this monthly payment.
Yep.
Well, what if I can take care of that for you?
Boom.
What would it cost? What would you be willing to walk away with if I can make that happen for you?
There
And
you
now
go.
you're matching the value to
Boom.
what they're going in. Boom.
Boom. There you go. Keeping it simple, and it's all because you pay attention to what they need, bringing
Yeah.
service, bringing value to them. Not oh, I know all these cool tricks. Oh, I
Hmm.
learned all of this stuff about creative and sub two. Like I can do that, and then now they lost. They don't because you're not meeting them where they are. It's all
Right.
about serving. So it's come from a
Yes.
place
Yes.
of purpose.
So it was that servant leadership.
There
It's
we go.
almost like that. I think in the Bible, right before, I think it was before Jesus got crucified, the Last Supper is like what he did. He told all the I forget what the phrase is, but servants to go home.
Mhm.
And what
Oh
he
yeah,
was doing, all the disciples came in. He was washing their feet, like, Jesus, what are you doing? Like, I'm
yeah.
serving, because I can't do it without you guys.
Yeah,
And so, I always knowing that. All right, well, I guess this part, Anthony, and first of all, I appreciate you, having this time with me.
absolutely. Thanks for having me, bro.
You know, for obviously we kind of had this conversation about, what is Anthony. So far, where Anthony's helping me is building obviously the CRM through Go High Level, but also him creating the system and process that I'm currently using, and helping other people that are in my same boat, but not only wholesaling, but possibly somebody that does insurance or different fields, but feeling like this can really work. So if somebody may be interested in reaching out to you, what would they be looking for you? What is it exactly that they would have uh, need from you? There you
Gotcha,
go.
gotcha. Yeah, if anyone's like running like a company or an agency where they're like following up, where basically they have customers that they have to outreach to communicate with, we have a communication infrastructure that focuses on AI automation. But then the whole goal is to keep everything in one place and streamline it, and just basically simplify your day so you can kind of stick to doing the things that you enjoy doing. It was a thing that we kind of stumbled upon. It's a tool we were using in our business ourselves, and then after using it in our business, we realized, oh, we got something. And then I kind of stumbled outside into like the finance and insurance space, and met with people networking and realized that it was a space that they kind of had a need for it as well,
Right.
specifically on the follow up side. So just following up, nurturing, reactivating code campaigns, things
Hmm.
like that. It's a system that automates it all. We have it also connected to do reviews, to where you automatically get reviews after like a sale, to send someone to like a page, or instead
Yeah.
of sending to a page, they review it and then it sends it out to all the pages. But yeah, just putting things in place to help people run their business and be able to 10x without having to hire 10 more people.
Right. Okay. And thanks to you, Anthony, I'm slowly getting there. But it's also, being able to help create this to where it's almost the analogy of, even though when we first met, our visions were there, but it was maybe a bit fuzzy. I would say I had a stigmatism of what I wanted, but being able to go through that with you and you having the patience, and I would say the opposite of cockiness. You're very humble to where, like, how do I communicate this with George without coming off as rude? Like, bro, just say it. Because I think we're at the level where it's kind of like you and your wife, me and my wife, to where it's going to be a certain section of tough love. But if you really take your time and, I guess, what do you call it? Masticate. The
Massage it in.
Yeah, really enjoy the food. Take it. Okay, when Anthony told me this, he said, I need to be the lion. What is a lion? Like, I don't believe in that. Like, well, how can I find out if I'm a lion? But I guess to say all that, you've been helping me, like I said, together figure that out. And so I believe we have a lot of good things happening, and slowly implementing those things to where now it's like, hey, if you need whenever I see somebody, hey guys, who's a go high level guru, I was like, well, I wouldn't label him as a guru. He may be a guy, but Anthony has been able to help me out with my processes. He may be able to help you out as well. Because if you're seeing my track record, like, George, man, you're killing it. How are you doing that? Like, well, a lot of it has to do with Anthony and what he represents and the services he's helping me out with. So I would encourage you to reach out to him and see how he can help you out as well.
Awesome, love it, bro. Appreciate it, and thank you for being the test dummy. So you say, because again, I can build all those things, and I had it built when we were running our wholesaling.
Mhm.
But once I realized I couldn't physically keep up with a wholesaling company,
Right.
met George, and George is running a wholesale company, and again, the relationship just stuck. It made me still work from a passion, and it taught me a lot to get feedback, like we mentioned, and to learn how to
Yeah.
fine tune. So, thank you
Yeah.
for helping me, build out something like this.
No problem. And thank you for, like I say, helping me understand the processes through and through, to where now it is that, like, that latest bottle and that you helped me slowly uncover or unlodge is the, bringing in, I wouldn't say the wrong people. It's just me failing not to really clarify what my vision is and what I need help with. But as we're continuously working together, really figuring that out to where once we have AI implemented on the front end, we're still gonna need somebody to man it, just to make sure that everything's running through. But how can they do that without knowing the system themselves
Exactly.
and being able to create those SOPs or videos for them to really look at it, but also understand that, one of the core values is kind of, being coachable and
Hmm.
having that self initiative, or word we mentioned before, it's grit. To where,
There,
like, I don't know the answer to this, but let me go find it.
there we
And
go.
being able to help out to where now it's easier for them to kind of find the source. Like, what is the process once the lead comes in the system? What do I do? Okay, go here. Everything's here. So hopefully, I want to help you out, but I don't want to do it all the time because I have created a system where everything does depend on George. And I'm learning, no, that's not the goal. Is
Exactly.
to free myself up from that, and hopefully encourage ownership within yourself, within the role that you play. Hopefully, you can grow with me or get to a level where, like, hey, thanks, George. I learned so much.
There we
Now I'm gonna go create my own thing. I'm like,
boom.
well, in that case, go. Don't forget about Anthony because I didn't create the system that you love so much without Anthony's help. And then boom, being able to help bring customers your way as well, to where the whole thing of collaboration over competition comes into hand in hand.
Absolutely, bro. That wouldn't make me nothing would make me more happier. Just obviously when I get your text message and like, hey, we got another one, or hey, this happened, it's like
Yeah,
that feeling of joy kind of brings me back to teaching. Not necessarily that you're my student, but it just kind of shows like my hard work, my vision, my patience, my meeting, like that whole process that we talked about is showing off the same way you feel whenever you close a deal. And it's like, I
yeah,
want to get another one. Now I'm in this place, like now that we're kind of getting through this beta testing phase, and we'll have, I think it's like I think three clients right now. It's just like,
nice.
let's get more. Like, let's keep
Yeah,
going. Now I'm starting to get more of the testimonials, more of the case studies are coming in. And it just feels good, man, to help. I mean, it really does. It's the same
mhm,
feeling, except
yeah,
now I created it from
mhm,
nothing versus, a
yeah.
job. Going back to the music thing.
Well, I wouldn't say quite nothing, but it came from in here, and you slowly like,
Piece it together.
creating it, and here we go. And then going back to analogy, like you mentioned with your mom, is kind of being the light that inspires others to where, like, hey, George, it seems like I know what you want, but here's what I'm working with so far. And they're like, hey, I think this is going to help me out. And
Exactly.
then here we are, got 2 or 3 deals that I have went through. And granted, doesn't matter where they came from, but because they've been through the system, that is the footprint, or that's the case study within itself.
Love it. Love it, man.
Mhm.
Trying to get you to 5, 10 a month, bro.
Let's do it, bro. Let's do it. But cool, cool. Well, once we obviously this is recorded, but once I post it out there, what I'll do, I'll have all of Anthony's information. So if you want to get reach out to him, and that'll be available for you guys, or if you need to reach out to me and it seems too intimidating, then I don't mind making that connection as well. But again, Anthony, thank you for giving me a couple hours of your time on a Sunday, and let's continue rocking. And if anybody needs help with their system, again, reach out to Anthony as well.
Awesome. Appreciate you, Georgia. Have a great one, brother. Thank you
All
for
right,
having me, man.
no problem.
Yes, sir.